Hey guys, and welcome to all the Warships with Webu. In today's video we will be talking about the brand new American premium battleship, the Texas. It is a tier 5 battleship and is the sister ship to the well-known New York. Now, as this battle is starting, I'm going to go quickly through the ship's stats just to compare it with the New York, and as you can see on the screen I put the stats there. Those ships are very similar except for one major difference. The Texas is an absolute beast when it comes to its anti-air abilities. It is the best anti-air equipped tier 5 ship in the game at the moment. So let's move on to the actual AA ratings of those AA defense groups. So right now on the screen you can see just how strong these are. The range is okay-ish for them, 2 kilometers, 3.5 and 3.5. But as you can see now, you could actually make it look much better if you use the right captain's perks, about which I will be talking about at the end of this video, so stay tuned if you want to know this. But let's move on to the battle itself right now. I've spawned in the northern part of the map straight, and I just fired my first volley towards this Nuremberg, and yeah, well, it is a New York class battleship, and you can lay some devastating fire on enemy ships with this class of ship. It's a big step up from the previous tier of the American ships. So, okay, so what I'm trying to do here now is, because it is such a beast when it comes to its anti-air abilities, I want to lure the enemy carrier captain to attacking me. So that's why I moved to the center of the map, and that is why I also made that comment in the chat, basically trying to attract the enemy team's attention to the fact that I'm sailing a ship that is unavailable to the general public. Basically, I want to make the carrier curious about whether or not he can sink me or not, in order basically to get some good footage for you guys. So I'm trying to put myself out there to see if this AA rating looks good only on paper on the screen, or it actually is useful. So as you saw a second ago, I had a pretty decent shot at the Isakaze, just over 6,000 damage, and now the second shot, only one shell connected, so 1,000 damage. But by the looks of it, the Isakaze will die in a second, so I will have my way clear for advancing on the center of the map, where I'm expecting to be the most exposed to the enemy carrier attacks. On the way I noticed this Minekaze, which is threatening our warspite, so I shot one salvo in its direction, but unfortunately it all missed, so I'm not gonna stop and continue shelling it, and just keep on going. So I'm finding myself in the center of the map now, and the only threat that I can see right now is the New Mexico that's right ahead of me, in between those islands. It's kind of poking its head out, and I need to keep this in mind. I want to keep myself angled for as long as possible. And now that it's out, and it looks like the New Mexico is almost completely stationary, I adjust my course a little bit to get all my guns to bear, and launch one volley. And that's the first wave of torpedo planes incoming, and just look how quickly they're melting away. I will eat 2 of those torpedoes. I reacted too late to avoid them, but that's not a big problem. I have still quite a lot of health left to spare. And like I said, it's not a big thing. So we've definitely got the enemy carrier's attention now, and I just noticed the enemy Muskie Very unfortunate for the destroyer to be pitched like that, so I'm using my opportunity to get some more experience and get a 4000 hit on the destroyer. Trying to help the friendly Phoenix because I see the torpedoes incoming, and it looks like the Phoenix might actually die. Oh well, it survived. But so in that case, we're safe. The Muskie is dead, and New Mexico has just went past that second island. So now I'm just getting a bit closer and waiting for the next wave, and I see the Cleveland coming in, so I'm just waiting for the Cleveland to show me a bit of a broadside, and I launched the volley, but I misaimed a little bit, and there were no citadels. Okay, so looking straight ahead, there's 2 torpedo bomber squads coming straight at me. I'm getting ready to engage them. I've already marked the first torpedo bomber squad for my AA. And the guns open up. So far we've got 8 airplane kills. By the looks of it, the enemy carrier decided to get rid of the AOBA first, which is fine by me. He was only partially successful. He just took about half of its health. But it's understandable. He's trying to preserve his life, and I still keep on marking targets for my AA, and I further raked in 12, now 13 kills. One cheeky shot from behind the island at the cruiser, and I realized that I'm just about to run aground. But it's not a big problem. I'm not really exposed to anything that could kill me at the moment, and the only threat I see is the Cleveland, but he's too busy with killing our friendly AOBA, so just waiting for my guns to reload. And it's a shame. I was hoping I would manage to save the AOBA from the Cleveland, but it was too late. But he launched revenge torpedo solvent in the direction of the Cleveland, so both of these cruisers are dead now. So I've sort of got myself stuck on this island, reversing now, and I'm just waiting for the leftovers of the enemy carriers planes to engage me again. As you can see, the squadron that's coming out now, it's not full anymore, so that must be the leftovers of the planes that this carrier has. That's another plane shot down. That's already only 2 planes in the squadron left. The second squadron following it's only got 1 plane, so that just tells me that I basically almost killed all of the enemy planes available. I managed to dodge this torpedo by complete miracle, and I will shoot down there it is. I will shoot down the second squadron's only plane. And now I'm just keep going straight towards the carrier. Again, marking the closest squadrons for my AA to focus fire. And just keep raking in more kills. As you can see, there's 22 kills already, 23 now, 24. I will get 2 hits from the bombers, but that's not a big problem. I'm just gonna repair it right after the damage is done. Another kill, that's 25 now. Quick salvo at the enemy carrier, and I still don't manage to kill it, but I do start a fire with one of my secondaries, which is pretty cool. And the total right now comes to 28 planes, and Tier 5 game. It's I think it's a pretty decent result for a Tier 5 battleship. So yeah, I think this is a good example of what this ship is capable of. It's an amazing anti-air platform, and you will find yourself being the pillar of the AA defense on your team if you're gonna be sailing the Texas. Right, so the game is almost over now. The only enemy left is the New Mexico I engaged earlier on. and it is just about to die to our warspite. I'm just gonna shoot one salvo right now, and that's gonna be it. So I'm just gonna use this time and tell you about my conclusions when it comes to what I think about this ship. It's the second premium ship that will be available for all of us to purchase in the American tech tree, the other one being the Atlanta. And since the Atlanta is a bit of an acquired taste, and not everyone knows how to sail it, I think it might be a viable option for quite a few players for captain training purposes and money making. As far as money making goes, I can't give you the exact numbers. As you will see in a second, I did not get any money or any experience for this game simply because this is a testing ship. All of the contributors who showed interest in the new 2 premium ships coming out were given those ships on those terms. So you don't make money and you don't make experience, and we will lose those ships after a certain time, just for showing purposes and testing purposes. So I can't tell you about the money making potential, but it is a premium ship, and I don't expect it to be standing out from the group when it comes to premium ships. So it should be a pretty decent moneymaker. Captain trainer as well. It will probably be cheaper than the Atlanta. Again, I don't have any sure information, but since it is a couple of tiers lower than the Atlanta, I expect it to be a little bit cheaper in real money terms. And yeah, as I said, it's going to be the best AA equipped ship in this tier in the game at this moment. So it's quite an interesting option. But that's only if you like to sail the New York. Those ships are, except for the AA, those ships are identical. So the dispersion is a bit funny, and sometimes you can triumph, but sometimes you'll grit your teeth because well, RNGs. So I think that's all when it comes to the review. I had a lot of fun sailing this ship, and it was actually quite a lot of fun to revert back to low tiers for a while. And if you would like to know which captain's perks I chose for this ship and the kind of setup I chose for testing this ship, just stay tuned, and I'll be moving to the port right now and telling you a bit more about it. Okay guys, so let's move to the port now, and I'll talk about the captain's perks that I chose for this ship. Oh, and also the upgrades that I chose, because they are a bit unusual. You probably saw at the beginning of this clip when I was showing you the stats, comparing the New York and the Texas. You probably noticed the huge range difference of the main armaments that the Texas had. I have to say that was intentional. Both the Texas and New York can have the exact same range if you use the artillery plotting room modification one. That adds pretty much 3 kilometers to the battleship's range. But because I was intentionally trying to put myself in danger, I wanted to be noticed by the enemy carrier, and I assumed I would most likely be most often in the middle of the map, basically trying to attack the attention. I was using the main battery modification 2, and that's the reason why my range was so low. It was the stock range was just over 15 kilometers. So because it's an AA crazy ship, I decided that for the first upgrade I'm gonna use the AA guns modification 1, just to make sure that they will survive for as long as possible, and maintain my anti-air potential. And for the third possible upgrade, I chose the damage control system modification 1, which I think is the most viable option out of those 3 for a battleship. Now, moving on to the captain's perks. The 2 most important ones that you want to have to be really efficient would be the basic fighting training, which will obviously give you 10% to your AA efficiency, and also the advanced fighting training, which will give you the extra 20% range on your anti-air abilities, and that's how I achieved those numbers I was showing you at the beginning of this clip. The manual fire control option is an interesting one, and I might have actually went for it. But those two are, more than enough. You saw just how many planes you can actually shoot down with these. If you had such a high per captain on your New York, you would be unbeatable. I'm guessing that even a tier 7 carrier wouldn't be able to deal with you before you shot all of its planes down. So, but for the time of the game that I was just showing you, that was the setup of my captain. So, yeah, basic firing training and advanced firing training, these are the ones that boost your AA to the levels I had in the game. I also recommend you use the basics of survivability. Use this perk on most of my ships, and if not all. And yeah, it just takes 15% of the time of your repairs and fire extinguishing, which is pretty useful sometimes. Also, the expert marksman will shave off around, I think, 8 seconds of your turret traverse time, so that's pretty useful. It will go down from 60 seconds to about 51, 52 something like that. And I also decided to give up the superintendent in favor of the vigilance perk, simply because the New York is a pretty maneuverable ship, and you can basically dodge most of the torpedoes that are going in your direction if you've got those couple of seconds of advance warning, and that's why I chose that one. You may have noticed that I'm not using the situational awareness, and most of my ships won't have it unless I've got a spare perk to start to use. I much more prefer to use the incoming fire alert, but that's just my quirk, so you don't have to follow me on this. Those two though, the basic firing training and advanced firing training, will give you the best possible results when it comes to your anti-air defenses. Otherwise, it's just a New York, so you can choose your perks the way you want. So I think that will be all for today, and as you can see, I've got one more ship here that I will be talking about, but I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. It all I'm gonna say is that I honestly recommend that you stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, because that ship is pretty cool as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the open seas.